First step on tearing down a Maxitorque Mack transmission is pulling off your shift covers. This is for your front half of your gearing. This is for your back box, your auxiliary box. So we're going to pull both these covers off before we lift it up and start tearing it down. Okay, these are with the covers removed. Your back box. So your high-low synchronizer back here, and then your main box. So now we're going to flip it on its end on the bell housing. And we'll start tearing down all the bolts on the back here to lift the back box off. Now the transmission is stood up on a rim. That's what I like to use. It's pretty sturdy. And you can see inside here, gearing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these caps off here and take the range cylinder off here. Unbolt it all the way around the housing. And then we will use the forklift and a chain to lift it up from here and separate the two cases. To pull these caps off, you're going to need 3/8 bolts, two of them, one on one side and one on the other. You'll tighten them down and the cap will lift off. And this came out of the back, which is not a good sign, chunk of metal. So now you know why we're doing the rebuild. Next, remove the range cylinder and the bolt for the fork. So you slide all that out and start separating the cases. Got that out. Now we're ready to separate the case. So once you get the case off, this is what you have left. Your counter shafts, your auxiliary main shaft is still inside the back box, so we'll take that out later. So the complaint on this transmission was grinding into high. We didn't go into high gear. This right here is your rear synchronizer for your high-low on your back box, and as you see, the tabs are broken and messed up. Here's a chunk that came out on the bottom of the transmission. We pulled it out, so we got a lot of damage back here. So we got to take apart this back box, get the new parts ordered that are damaged, and go through the rest of the transmission and make sure there's no more damage, and put it back together, and then we'll be good. To take apart the back box, you need to take the bolt off that's in the center of the yoke. You pull the yoke off, then you remove the bolts on the retainer, and then you drop the gear off the bottom. To pull the yoke off, you'll need this special tool right here, and it'll push down here. We'll put a little piece right here and push against it, and it'll pull the yoke right off. Now we got the auxiliary shaft up here, and to tear it apart, we need to get some snap ring pliers, separate that and slide it all apart, and check out our clutch packs inside there. That's what's damaged. Once you get that center snap ring out, you will take this one right here on the gear off too as well. So there's two snap rings to pull this auxiliary gear apart. So we're unable to get this gear off. There is damage done to the shaft in here, so we've used pullers, a torch, everything, so we cannot get the clutch pack apart. So since the shaft is damaged and the synchro is damaged, I'm just going to go ahead and get a price and order a whole new auxiliary shaft with all the gears as well as the synchronizer on it, and put the assembly back together. So that's our tear down of a Maxitorque transmission and the diagnosis of a grinding into high gear. So that's what it comes down to. You got a fucked up synchronizer. There's our transmission. We'll put it back together as soon as we get the parts and reinstall it in the truck.